I'm back. That's right. Before we get started into the demo and the artist today, I want to let you guys know that you have been doing amazing work. The photographs you've been posting, the sketchbook assignments, and your self-portrait project, I mean, it's been phenomenal. And I want to show you guys, so take a look, what incredible faces you guys have done with this realistic pencil drawing. I mean, the shading, just the depth in some of these, you guys are doing awesome. And I'm really proud because I'm just so excited to see what you've done every week. Great job, really. I mean, you should pat yourselves on the back, definitely. But let's do a recap on your portrait project. So these are the things that you still should have. You should have your tracing paper. Please don't get rid of it, just in case we will need it for the blank board. So you should have a blank board. It could be this color, or it could just be a white board. You should have your realistic pencil face that you just did last week. And then you now have 4 duplicate boards that we haven't done anything with. You're going to need 2 of those this week because we are going to be working on 2 of your boards. They're going to be really quick boards, but, you know, we're going to do 2 just to kind of wrap these up. It would take about 1 class period if we were in school, so it won't be too bad. Just a reminder, you do have a new sketchbook assignment this week, so make sure you go on the sketchbook assignment in the Google Classroom and get that. It's number 3, so make sure you write that down and get that posted by the end of the week. And these 2 boards will also be due at the end of the week. So, before we get into our demonstrations, we're going to learn about 2 artists. Here we have Barbara Kruger. Barbara is a feminist, which, if you're not sure what that is, she wants women to be just as equal as men. And in many cases, women are still not equal, even today. Barbara is a collagist and uses headlines, images, and texts for magazines and advertisements. She wants her viewers to read the collages she creates and to understand her viewpoints. Currently, Barbara lives and works in both New York and LA. The first board we are going to work on today is called the Adjective ink face. You will be using words or a phrase instead of drawing the lines in your face. If we were in school right now, you would be using a quill pen and dipping it into an inkwell. But if you do not have those items at home, then you can use a regular black pen or a fine tip black marker. Okay, we're going to get started on the Adjective ink face. So what I said you needed was either a black pen or a black fine tip marker. I would suggest the black fine tip marker just because it makes nice bold lines and it does a little more, it pops a little more. But if you just have a black pen, that works too. You will need an eraser by the end of this, and you need one of your boards with just your face drawn on it. So the first thing is you need to choose a word or a phrase that describes you, so an adjective. It could be a phrase that you say all the time. It could be a hobby or a sport you play, or something that relates to you in some way. And instead of drawing lines over top of the pencil lines, you're going to write that word or phrase. So we're going to start with just my hairline here. I'm going to use the word artistic just because, you know, it fits me. And I'm going to write artistic on my lines instead of actually drawing the lines. Okay, and so I'm just going to go all the way around and I'm going to follow these lines. Now where it gets a little bit tricky, if you have eyes and you have really small details, that's where you're going to have to make your words a lot tinier. So around my eye here, I'm just going to have to make my word a lot more tiny. And you want to kind of move the board as you go. So some of your words might be upside down. If you don't want them to be, then just turn the board but they're going to get a lot smaller in those tiny little areas. Then, for instance, the pupil, which I'd like to make black, I'm just kind of going to jumble up that word. So you might not be able to read it, but that's okay. Okay, we're going to speed through this, go in fast pace, so we can get it done quick. And there we go. So if you look closely, I did not draw the lines of my face. I only drew words that followed those lines. So the last step, once you're at this point, you're not done. That's when you need your eraser. Make sure that your ink is dry, so you might want to let it sit for 10 minutes or so. And then you're just going to erase all of the pencil lines. So all you have are the words. And that's what's going to make up those lines in your face. So getting rid of all of those pencil lines is your last step. And when you are finished with that, you can take a picture of it and post it into the portrait assignment. Now let's learn about our second artist and the next board you'll be doing. This is Elizabeth Layton, also known as Grandma Layton. And we are going to look at her self-portrait. That's right, this is how Elizabeth sees herself. This self-portrait is called buttons, and if you look closely at all of her buttons, they express her feelings and views. This is a colored pencil self-portrait, which is what you are also going to be starting today. So here's what you need for this face. So this is called the Color Blast face, and what we're going to be using are colored pencils and your one of your blank boards. Do not use markers. If you do not have colored pencils, you can use crayons, but please either crayons or colored pencils, just because we're going to use markers for another board and we want to get a good variety. Okay, so this is called the Color Blast. We want blasts of color. We don't want light. We don't want pastel. We want bold, bright color. So you're going to be using non-realistic colors for this. So they shouldn't be the colors of your face, your hair, your eyes. They're completely new, invented colors. But again, we want it to be bold, bright, and just blasts of color. So here we go. We're going to get started. And there we have the Color Blast face. So the reason I want you to use colored pencils or crayons is because you can actually blend those two materials and you can make another three-dimensional effect like shading. So if you'd like to do that, you could do that. If you would just like to color it bold, bright colors, that's fine also. But it does give you a chance to kind of do different tints and shades in your colors. So that's one option. Let's see what you guys got. I'm excited to see your posts. Create away.